impoverish the characters. Im- Impoverish the characters, like it was mentioned before, that it doesn't mean making them to enter the poverty. It just means that making them just like a regular person. So we have to highlight this one. Impoverish the characters, it just not making them fully enter the poverty. It just making them like a regular person with no glamour at all we want to say is making them as a regular person and giving them a specific job, and of course to fight them coming back to their prerogative, which is back to the government. When the problems come from the government, they doing corruption from the government, that the problems coming from there, and we cannot giving them back to the place that they used to be. Giving them a specific job that enough to fit them is the impoverished that we actually talking about. They still can feed themselves, their wife, and their children, but they're not going to live glamour like before. Not to mention, we have to make them regret for what they've done, so they have to take those sins as an extra punishment. That we believe that giving them like reallocate or accelerate them to the other places. Opposite sides say that rehabilitation could be a choice and could be a solution as well to punish a character instead of impoverish the character itself. But rehabilitation doesn't effective. Like we can see a lot of character is being thrown to a jail, but they leave glamour in there. And not mentioned, but rehabilitation doesn't even effective for kind of people like this. Like kind of people that always being greedy. So we're talking about social justice. When the cartel did their crime, did their sins, stealing people's money, and they actually thinking about other people when they did it, are they actually thinking about other people when they did it? Of course not. To make them fully regret from what they've done, they have to pay back more than 100% of the money that they stole from the government, including all their assets. We have to take it from them and to make them cannot give glamour life like they used to before. Now we're going to talk about reallocate or being exiled. We're going to place them in the places that have low economic states. We're giving them new jobs there and then help people to get a better life. Like we giving punishment and lesson at the same time. This new job, of course, doesn't mean that giving them a chance to live glamour. The income of the job is enough for their families and for themselves. The new place that they are being exiled, giving them lecture to be a better person and giving them experience to live useful to the others. So it's actually win-to-win solutions. They have payback for the sins that they have done, which become impoverished by the government, and then pay back their sins with becoming useful to the others. All their assets that have been pulled from them and then government now have it will be used by the government to help the people in need. People that did corruptions was accustomed for being glamour. If we impoverish them, they will be shocked. But we have to know and do screening where all their assets go and do not give them a chance to hide their assets, even though they hide it in other countries. We have to make them feel the punishment at the first time and educate them for being useful after. They are being suffered and educated at the same time, which is giving them meaning of life and prevent them to make some same mistakes at the future because they already being impoverished and exiled that make them think what they've done. As like we mentioned before, they have to fully give their assets to the government, and the government will take in charge where the assets is supposed to go. That's actually people in need. Impoverished, this type of people is actually a way out. And I do believe that impoverish the culture should be done, and giving them an extra punishment is actually way out and support the impoverished to impoverish the characters. The money that has been pulled by them, I mean, the pulled by the government, should be given or being used as such a benefit things like healthcare, like social movement, or such a thing like a donation and whatsoever. Character of people that have been impoverished should be monitored by some people in order to not keep on their way to get the thing out like it should be. It's just to make sure people that did corruption cannot live glamour like they used to before, because it's the sin have that they have to pay back, because they're abusing the position they got before to steal money from people, and then they cannot back to that state where they're like full of wealth like they used to before. So it's actually impoverished the the character is actually a way out, and it's actually a best solution, and we do extremely believe to it.